Good evening, good evening, good evening, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk with your sister Keisha, your brother Tad, and your brother Ashe SJ. Will be joining us shortly, along with our guest this evening, brother BlakSmith. We are going to dialogue on some things that have been happening and things that are to happen, and give you our perspective as we see it. And hopefully you'll join us in a conversation to give us your perspective on how you see things. A lot has been happening. I hope you all, first of all, are doing very well, in the best of health. Please be as healthy and as positive as you possibly can. I know we are living in tough times. A lot of people going through a lot right now, including depression. I want to thank our sister Cheryl Phoenix for joining us last week, and we will definitely have her again back on the program, all the way from Ghana, from the UK, born of Jamaican ancestry. So it was great pleasure to have the sister on with us, and we will definitely have her on again, because as it relates to our children, they are suffering greatly right now, and it seems to go over a lot of people's heads. A lot of people aren't paying attention, looking to put, if you will, band-aids on gunshot wounds, and that is not productive. So we're going to get into all of that again later with our brother BlakSmith. You just came off the Verzuz that took place this Sunday, I believe. Um, yeah, today is Thursday. Great performance by Big Daddy Kane and KRS-One. Salute to them for showing us what the fundamentals of hip hop really is. Bringing it back to the blueprint, if you will. New York started it all, and we gonna finish it all. So I was glad to see them in their element on Sunday, giving the people what they needed in this particular time, because hip hop, it has veered off into some things that are quite unsavory. Those of us who understand what that is, what hip hop culture is, what it came out of, how it was to progress. We are not seeing things as they should be. And some people say, well, it's time for, a different look, if you will, in hip hop. And I'm all for growth and evolution, as everything must be. You notice that in the style. Well, we'll get into all of that when Brother BlakSmith get in. But yeah, so I find hip hop today quite disturbing. If it ain't classic, I boycott. Period. The same with sports. A long time ago, I had boycotted sports, and anybody who knows me, you know, knows that I was an avid basketball fan, if you will. You couldn't tell me nothing. Run the stats down to you and everything. But there was some unsavory things that were happening, as I saw it in the early 2000s, that made me completely do away with it. So I am a staunch believer in boycotting. Some of these so-called political activists or community activists or social activists never talk about boycotting and sticking to the plan. We have to get back to that, in particular now. as they push forth these, as Brother Ashe says, snake bite mandates. Um, it is crucial that you keep boycott in the back and in the forefront of your mind. Shout out to the Professor William Mackey Study Group last night with Dr. Arthur Lewis, who gave a phenomenal presentation as it relates to the snake bites and who is pushing these mandates and things of that nature. It was just phenomenal. At one point, Zoom started acting up. When you talk about these snake bite mandates, if you will, letting people juice you up, you often find that these streaming mechanisms um, immediately start with interruption or some sort of malfunction, if you will. But that is because there are systems that are behind the scenes that are trying to get us to go along, to get along. But the people are pushing back, not just here in the United States, but around the world in great numbers. People are tired of the BS. The great resignation is continuing. People are walking off of their jobs left, right, and center. And it really has nothing to do with these snake bites, these juicing of the arms. People are fed up with the status quo of corporate America, blue collar work. People are fed up. The stresses are at an all-time high, and people would rather live in poverty, if you will, than to stay on jobs or stay with companies that are stressing them the hell out. You have people who are CEOs, CFOs, all the way down to administrators and, hotel workers and everything, hospital workers just walking off because the stresses is too great. And this system is squeezing people to their limit. And that's one of the reasons why depression and mental illness is also at an all-time high. You have systems that are preventing you from speaking out, speaking your truth, speaking what you feel. You have a right to disagree of things that you see taking place. And this cancel culture, I've often said this on this platform and many times before, that you have to be very careful when you want to shut people down because it will come back to bite you. I said that when Don Imus was silenced for his commentary as it relate to the Rutgers female basketball team. And when I saw people saying we're going to shut him down, and, I said, you may not like what he said. None of us like what he said. But to cancel him is going to come back to bite you 10 times over. Um, you see Dave Chappelle is still catching all kind of heat. Now I believe it was reported that, they trying to cancel his pastor, some sister, but I didn't read too much into it. I just saw the headline. But, you cannot cancel um someone's belief system, someone's way of thinking, um, someone's ideologies or philosophies. You have to deal with them in the realm that they're in. Um, and this is why when these Karens and Kens roll up on you and you pop them in the mouth, they're ready to lock you up, because you have cuffed yourself in silencing other people. See, I like these degenerates, these racists, these folks to say exactly what they feel. I like that. Don't hide nothing. Tell me exactly what it is. I'm going to put a link in the chat of a documentary that I think you all should check out. And you hear these white folks tell you exactly what it is. Everything that we've been saying and those across the independent black media spectrum have been saying for quite some time. You know, they understand that, they are in a position of power, that black folks are on the bottom, that these Latinos and Asians and, Arabs and everybody else are buffer classes, if you will. I'm gonna put that link in the chat because I want y'all to see this documentary for yourselves. Some of you may have seen it, some may have not. But we'll get into all of that once our guests get in queue. I want to give some shout outs real quick. I hope everybody's doing well. Shout out to Sister Farnessa. Always good to hear from you. Sister Farnessa, someone has asked me to give you their phone number because they want your perspective on voting. Investment. Hold on. I think we got some interruptions here. Here we go with the shenanigans already. But Sister Farnessa, yes, someone who I know personally, good people want your perspective on investments. So I'll give you their number after the show. I'll send it to you privately. Get in contact with them. But Brother Magnetic Peace Tyson, always a pleasure chopping it up with you. Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for your wisdom. I definitely appreciate that. I like building with you and gaining perspective, if you will. Sister Marie, shout out to you. Hope everything is well on the home front with you and your family. Sister Joyce, you see, I put that out there, so we good. Yeah, Brother Magnetic Peace Tyson says hip hop won that night. Both showed us how grown men dress and represent our culture. We're gonna get into all of that tonight with our brother BlakSmith for real. Because we got different perspectives and it's great to engage, if you will. I'm always up for learning. Never turn that down. Never. Hip hop needs its fathers and mothers, like all families. Absolutely. Absolutely. It was great to see Roxanne Shante in there representing, for the queendom. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Yeah. I'm glad you like that. Dr. Arthur Lewis was phenomenal. I saw you in there, Brother Peace, last night on the check-in at the Brooklyn Mackey Study Group. And if you all follow us on Facebook and Instagram, we often post the link for you to be in on those study groups when they come about. I think I'm doing the next one, if I'm not mistaken, I think. And it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. I ain't going to tell you what it is yet, but it's going to be off the chain. Thank you, sis. Thank you. And yes, shout out to Brother Ray. Great presentation. Shout out to Dr. Arthur Lewis again. I learned a lot. It was quite engaging. And we gotta still sharpens steel, if you will. So I was glad to get that information. Shout out to the homie Carol. What's good with you? I know you guys are working hard and stressed to the max. Those of you who are in nursing, who are in medicine, those of you who are physicians, we salute you for the courage and the tenacity that you have because, I know y'all being stretched to the limit. I said that in the opening, this great resignation that is happening, not just here in the United States, but around the world. People are walking off of their jobs. They just had it. It's just been too much. and the corporate realm can't grasp that. They are trying to hire any and everybody, and it's causing them more money and more problems, if you will. So, for those of you who are employed, please do something to keep yourself positive, to keep yourself healthy, to keep your mind sharp. And if you have to walk away, so be it. So be it. Never let anything or anyone destroy your mental, because without that, everything falls apart. If your mind isn't right, you can't get your body to stay right. And if your body can't stay right, it stops a whole lot of things. So, all of y'all, please, please, please. Yes, Sister Farness, I'm gonna definitely send you that number, because people are trying to make moves in other directions. I see we got our brother BlakSmith on a check-in. We're gonna bring him in as we wait for brother Alshay. People are trying to make moves in other directions. I see we got our brother BlakSmith on a check-in. We're gonna Okay, BlakSmith, I'm gonna have you. If you listening on another device, I'll need you to shut that off. Like if you're listening to YouTube and Facebook while we're speaking, I need you to mute it, because that's where the echo comes in and the duopoly comes in. So if you can do that for me, then we'll bring you right back in. Okay, just mute whatever other listening device you may have, because it causes an interference. Yes, she said, yes, I've been trying, sister, trust me. If it wasn't for our children in the community, because I don't want to turn my back on them despite the situations. Yes, teachers are pushed to the limit right now. They being pushed to the limit. I see it every day, the frustration. It's a lot to deal with. It's a lot. And no relief in sight. But we got our brother BlakSmith in here, so we're gonna get into some things. Hold on, let's see if you can, whatever other device you got on, brother, I'm gonna need you to shut that down, because it's causing interference. You might need to mute that other device, if you will. Sister Amanetu, yes, you got the MWM anniversary coming up. Shout out to Dr. Filet and the MWM movement. For those of you who are in business, they have a paper, and they are offering spaces to place ads in it, if you will. And if you want more information about that, just shoot me a text or a message, and I'll definitely get that to Dr. Filet if you would like to advertise. In fact, maybe if she's on the check-in tonight, we'll drop the link for her to join the broadcast, so she can give you, or personally, more information on how you can place ads in their publication for your business. Exactly. Yes, sis. Yes, for real. Yes, that mental battle, she says, I've been having since losing my job. It's ridiculous. Yes, it is. It's a lot. It is a lot. But, as my brother BlakSmith said, better things are coming. So, and I got some questions too, because the last time we had you here, I wasn't able to ask all of the questions that I have for you outside of what we're discussing tonight. So hopefully we'll have enough time to do that. Are you good on your end, or do you need another few minutes?
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, yeah. Give me a few minutes, because I'm looking for I'm looking for you, and I hear you, but I don't see you, and it's bugging me. I'm gonna have to go back out and then come back in.
Do that. So yes, and now I wanted to let you all know, I don't know if you all been paying attention to what's been happening in the news, but there was a serial killer in Jersey. Black dude meeting women online, engaging with them, and killing them. I believe earlier this week, I'll pull the article up in a minute. He was sentenced to 106 years. Sisters, we always tell you, and brothers, be careful out here. I don't mess around out here. For real. When I come inside, I'm inside. Cause it's too many crazy folks out here. And I ain't got time for the shenanigans at all. Cause you roll up on me, you're gonna meet your maker. So it's best that I stay indoors away from everybody because I ain't got time for that. Yeah. Right there in New Jersey, we're gonna pull that article up. I'm trying to let my brother get some kinks worked out behind the scenes so we can discuss it. And also, in Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama, an illegal Chinese immigrant who overstayed her student visa went ham and set an historical black church on fire. You know, we're going to get into that also because it seems like, and let me tell you the power of a people. It looks like to me that Google is trying to, if you will, keep her face from being shown. That bothers me. So that's why I use, private service or private browsers. I can't because Google is doing too much. They doing way too much, and it's really ticking me off. But I want to get into this article. Let me see if I can add it to the stream. I'm telling you, boy, they messing with us tonight for real, boy. They messing with us hard. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I think we got it. I think we got it. I think. Here you have it. New Jersey serial killer who murdered women. He met for sex, sentenced to 160 years. I said 106. Don't make no damn difference. He gonna die behind that wall. But a convicted New Jersey serial killer who used dating apps to lure his victims during a 2016 murder spree was sentenced to 160 years in prison Wednesday. Khalil Wheeler Weaver, 25, young dude, told the court that he was framed for the murders of these three women, but sat still as a state judge handed down the sentence in Newark. Family members of the victims, Robin West and Sarah Butler, read emotional statements before Wheeler Weaver learned his fate for the three killings: one attempted murder and 2 counts of kidnapping, aggravated arson, and desecration of human remains. Tiffany Taylor, who survived the attack by the killer, shared her trauma in the courtroom. She said, "My whole life is different. I don't wear makeup anymore. I don't have friends. I'm always paranoid, but I'm happy to be alive, to still be here. I hope you don't show him any remorse because he's not showing any remorse." She pleaded with the Superior Court Judge Mark S. Ali. Wheeler Weaver strangled 3 women after meeting them for sex online and dumped their bodies in northern New Jersey between September and December of 2016, prosecutors said. The defendant believed that these victims were disposable. They were killed, and then he went on about his day as if nothing had happened. Assistant Essex County Prosecutor Adam Wells said, "But each of these women's lives mattered." Investigators credited friends of Butler, a college student, for using social media to set up a fake account to bait Wheeler Weaver and lured him to Montclair. West's mother and Anita Mason remembered her 19-year-old daughter as full of promise. The Philadelphia woman got into the car with Wheeler Weaver hours before she was murdered and dumped in an abandoned house in the city of Orange that the killer set on fire, the court found. I will never forget her smile, her face, her walk, her desire to help homeless people, Mason said Wednesday. The world focused on the last month of her life. She had a whole entire life before her demise. Hundreds of people were affected by her life and were saddened by her death. Newark resident Joanne Brown, 33, was strangled by Wheeler Weaver. That's a tongue twister in itself. Less than 2 months later, and her body was also dumped in an abandoned Orange house. Butler, 20, disappeared around Thanksgiving 2016, and her body was found in a wooded area. Her father, Victor, turned to Wheeler Weaver in court and delivered a personal message. I hope you suffer, boy, every night. This is what I mean, this insanity that is out here. And let me tell you, I've never understood, this is just me, but I never could understand how people meet people online. You don't know these folks from a hole in the head and meet up with them. I don't give a damn how slick the game is. I don't know you, cat. Matter of fact, get out my inboxes. I don't know you. I don't know you. And I don't know if it's due to loneliness, lack of affection. I don't know what it is, but you have to be wise out here. You cannot meet people online and then you want to engage with them by yourself. I'm leery with people I know. So I know damn well I'll be leery with people I don't know. My aunt used to make fun of me. Shout out to my Aunt Marie. But she always used to make fun of me because when people would bring their significant others around, nah, don't shake my hand and definitely don't hug me. Because I don't know you, cat. I don't know you. I didn't care who they was dating. Don't touch me. And I'm still that way. I'm very leery, around people. So, brothers and sisters, be careful out here. I know it gets rough. You might want some companionship or whatever, but you don't know these cats from a hole in the head. You cannot be rolling up in parking lots and anywhere else. I don't get that. Your brothers, what's your take on this story? Brother Ashe SJ, I see you on the check-in. What's good with you, Brother Ashe? What do y'all think about this story right here?
Yo, peace first and foremost to everybody that supports us. Make sure y'all share this video right now. We got our brother BlakSmith in the building, about to give some amazing commentary on current events, as well as, hip-hop, entertainment news, and things of that nature. But, overall, Sister Keisha, it's just a crazy time right now. Times is always crazy, but it seems like our people are getting sicker and sicker by the day. We in a time right now where another story is, right now, another hot story in current events is what's happening in Philly with this rape, and that's all over the media, where unfortunately, all black people was probably waiting when they first heard that headline, they waiting like, please don't let him be black. Please don't let him be black. And then what happened? It was a black man. Matter of fact, I think he had an African name. His last name was Ngoy or something like that. So, we on the heels of that just happened. I think that was early this week, where this man literally watched. The people on the train literally watched while this man raped a woman right on the train. I'm praying it wasn't a sister. They saying they're not telling the victim's name or race to protect her, but I'm just praying that it wasn't a sister. But unfortunately, it was a brother. So we on the heels of that. We could get into that a little bit later as well. Of course, the article that you just shared, and then also we had, a lot of other crazy incidents that's happening like this. Like a lot of people getting raped. Remember, what was that last week we had in the Bronx, where another black brother tried to rush a sister's door in her apartment building, almost like by an inch, almost got in the door, followed the sister home. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's going on right now. You know, a lot of people are really going through it. I know you got all kinds of moon for the people that follow astrology. I know it's all kind of different. What they call it, retrogrades. You know what I'm saying? I don't follow
full moon.
I don't follow all of it, but I know right now we in the Aries. You know, it's a lot of stuff going on with that, man. And right now, I would just advise all of our people, but especially our sisters, please learn how to defend yourself somehow. I mean, it really shouldn't be up to you to fight a man. Like I said, no woman should have to fight a man. But unfortunately, a lot of our people out here are sick, and you got to have some line of defense, even if it's just one little hit so you could get away, get enough time to get free. You know, you got to have some kind of line of defense, or else you a sitting duck, you a victim. You know what I'm saying? And it's up to us brothers out here to really start putting the pressure on these dudes out here that's, you know, perpetrating and creating these crazy acts. We really got to start. And it's not about either just holding people accountable in a moment when, you know, things are happening, but it has to be in a moment when conversation starts happening and people start saying weird stuff. That's when you got to check it. You can't wait till they actually act upon their impulses. You got to check it from the gate. You got to check it once you start feeling and sensing that these people got some weirdo rapist tendencies. You know what I'm saying? You got to check that from right there in the beginning and let people know the temperature. Like, this is not something that we condone in our communities at all. You know, it shouldn't take for the news to cover it, for especially they white media. It shouldn't take for them to cover it, for us to get our emotions up, and then we to go to work, start talking about, oh, you heard about this article, that article. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, more people, black people, when they read these articles about our people, we so numb to it, we just turn it off. But what's the other big case that's in the news right now? Gabby Patino or whatever they talking about?
That's all. Can I speak?
Now, I bet you, yeah, I'm going to pass the mic right now. I bet you a lot of black people are at work with their white co-workers and shit. And they in there, oh, I'm cursing now. And they in there, you know, just devastated by it. You know what I'm saying? But do you share the same sentiments when it comes to our brothers and sisters? You know, this is what you gotta do.
When it comes to me, the case that I hardly see anybody talking about that affected me the most lately has been Jelani Day. He was like that dude that they found in the high school rolled up in the carpet with his organs sucked out. The media, like you said a minute ago, the white media actually said that it looked like his organs was sucked out. Like they just took a vacuum and just sucked them out. No eyes. I think his heart was gone. And I mean, vital organs. I ain't talking, you know, just a stomach or, you know, something that's expendable. I'm talking like pretty much they gutted him out pretty much. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's disturbing. That story is disturbing. Yeah. And the thing is that really bothers me is that you know, we take these things lightly. As Ashe said, we'll hear it today and on to something else tomorrow. We can't continue to take these things too lightly. Mm-hmm. You know, action and deeds prove everything. And right now, our actions and deeds, as it relates to each other, as Brother Ashe said, no sister should be out here trying to defend herself against no man. But the reality is a lot of brothers is out here off in the mind. And I ain't got time for it. I'm $150 you. I'm going to gut you good. I ain't got time for the shenanigans. You roll up on me. Listen here, family. Show your people my face. Because I know y'all got some people who sitting there in the rocking chair by themselves. I ain't playing with you. If you let them outside and they roll up on me, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Just get up that bail money because it's a wrap.
Yo,
I'm not playing these kind of games out here. That's why I stay to myself. I ain't got time for the foolishness.
Yo, Keisha, you know what, too? You hit on something I wanted to talk about, too, because another thing that we got to stop doing, family, Black people, right? We got so much love for our people. We start sympathizing with the goddamn aggressor, even if it's a black person. We start defending the aggressor and the predator, and instead of defending and protecting the prey. So what I'm talking about is, right, when some of these cases happen and you see the articles, of course you get the people that say, oh, they get fake mad, they get upset, blah, blah, blah. They go on social media tirades or whatever. Ain't got no people that's going to pull up like me, Keisha, Tad, everybody that pulled up at that church when we had to protect people. That people like that are more rare. The majority of people just go on social media, share an article. They don't want to really do nothing or sacrifice, put themselves on the line to stop stuff like this from happening. That's fine. But the thing is, a lot of our people, you have these other people that are black that are just sympathizers with black predators. You know what I'm saying? Where they would literally say, well, I wonder what could cause somebody to be sick. So that's what you said, Keisha. We got a lot of men that's out here that's sick, right? So yeah, we got psychologists and healers that could get into all of that, right? But we're not talking about that. We're talking about when it's time to hold people accountable and it's time to draw the line in the sand and say, we're not gonna condone any of this stuff. And then you got people that say, oh, this person is sick, they're not mentally right. We don't give no passes for sick people. We don't give no passes for mentally disturbed people, for committing rape, for harming the elderly and the children. You don't get a pass for that. I'm sorry. It don't matter, family, because you know why? It's a cancer. So we got to cut the cancer out before it spreads. You're going to sit here and allow somebody to do that to a woman or a child, and next thing, what's going to happen? The same goddamn cycle and the circle is going to happen again when that child get older and do the same thing. So we're going to prevent it from happening. Some way or another, it's got to be, the person has to be held accountable, whether it's they get a beat down and then go to the goddamn psych ward in prison, but the beat down come first, or they just get removed. You know, I ain't even going to say all of that on social media, but we got to handle our BI. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people is really just fake upset, fake mad when it happens. It's like you got fake news and then fake reactions. You know, everybody's in a social media outrage, but nobody wants to put on their boots and their gloves and really go put some work in. You know what I'm saying? So stop capping, stop defending these predators out here. People saying, "Oh, that person was abused when they was younger."
Hey, I got a question, real quick. And Keisha, you can't answer this. This is going toward our Shay. What about Colin Ferguson? What about him?
What's the question?
In this regard, what about Colin Ferguson?
Yeah, what's the question about him? He bodied a bunch of people. Right?
Yeah. So what would you say about him? It's just a question. It's not, I don't want you to think too hard on it.
I don't understand the question. What do I think about him? He killed a lot of our enemies on that train.
That was the point I was making. Okay.
Yeah,
it was just a trick question because it just came through my mind.
What are you
He wasn't crazy. He was right in his damn mind. He had enough.
I agree 1,000%, baby. Yeah, you heard me? Okay, that was it. I didn't want to, I just wanted to lighten the moment for a second. That's all.
Yeah, I didn't hear the narrative that he was crazy. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, man, he was, according to them folks, he was.
Yeah.
He was in court screaming like the dude that was doing that a few months ago with the dreads and looking all crazy in the camera.
Right.
Same kind of action. But back then, before this digital age where everything is online 5 minutes after it was done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm done. If y'all ready to go, y'all let y'all direct do the direct.
But yeah, so again, family, please be careful out here. Pay attention to your surroundings and always remain alert, no matter what it is that you're doing. Always thank my brother BlakSmith for bringing it in. But yeah, we pulled up on that church. We pulled up. The dude was molesting his daughter. We pulled up and got threatened. Shout out to brother Ray Shay. They were in the sanctuary. And the people, we was like, if they put any hands, it's a wrap. Everybody gonna get it out here. Shout out to 100 blacks in law enforcement. We pulled up. This is what you have to do. Forget all that running of the mouth. pull up. And if you ain't about that life, move to the side and keep your mouth closed. Get that bail money up. We gonna move on.
That's the important part right there, Sister Keisha. Moving to the side. That part right there. That's what the kids say, right? That part, right? That's the trend. What they say. That part. That part right there. That's what people need to learn how to do. Because it seemed like the people that are not about that life and the people that are not warrior class or whatever the case, the people that don't have the heart to do what's need to be done, to do what's necessary. They don't have the heart to do that, but for some strange reason, they always got the heart to stand in front of the goddamn predator. And they always got the heart to call the goddamn police on the people that's trying to protect them. They always got the heart to fight against the people that's trying to protect them, call all kind of crazy names, try to get you fired from your job, all kind of devilish things these people do to their own people, the ones that are fighting for them. Well, that's why revolutionaries don't last long. Either they die or they go crazy and they just decide, you know what, I'm not Black Power no more. Because you end up fighting your people so goddamn much that, it takes a real solid African to be like, yo, it don't matter. I'm here. I'm in this to the death. I know I'm going to have to fight some of my people to get to fight this goddamn enemy. You know what I'm saying? But this is what it is, So people that's coming into this movement, you got to know, this ain't no foo-foo. This ain't for play right here. This is like, for real.
Yeah. Listen, that's sign and symptom of being an 85, but we've been so fractured as a people, you can have twin brothers and one is a G and the other one is a religious idiot.
Yep.
And how do you meet in the middle there? You know what I'm saying? So you got one that's a snitch and the other one that's about it. You know what I'm saying? Because they defining each other according to what society says, as opposed to what we are as brothers to each other. Yep. You feel me? So in other words, what I'm basically saying is we don't know how to be on code.
That's right.
That's the easy way of just saying it without having to explain it. You know what I'm saying? We're not on code, bro.
Yeah.
And we got to be on code. We got to know whether we in the bottom of San Diego, on the Mexican border, or on the top of Maine, on the Canadian border. Yo, we got to have a uniform way of being with each other. And we just can't seem to bridge that because white supremacy always gets in the way of it.
Yeah.
If I could pay you $10 more than your job due to snitch on him or her, you're going to do it. Because you believe that's what's right, especially if you a Mason or in one of them fraternal orders or whatever the case may be. Yep.
Facts. Now, keeping with that, we just had the Verzuz battle.
Right.
This past Sunday, I believe, between Big Daddy Kane and KRS-One.
Uh-huh.
Now, as I said in the opening, salute to both of those legends who came and showed exactly what the fundamentals of hip hop is, what the culture is. That is the blueprint. What they showed on Sunday, that is the blueprint. I don't care who's doing it now or who's doing it in the future. That is the blueprint. So salute to both of them.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, let's get into it.
Okay.
Now.
Wait, hold up. First, who won?
Kane, hands down. But we got this difference of opinion here. We gonna get into it.
And BlakSmith, who won?
You're gonna hate this answer, but I'm gonna give you the answer that after I watched it. Because Keisha, before we had that little 1-2-1-2, I hadn't watched it all yet, so that's why I didn't really go back and forth with you like that. I would say, but to answer your question, Ashay, directly, I would say hip hop won.
Don't give me that answer, man.
Look. He's trying to ride the sideline, Ashay. You see him?
Hey, hip hop, no, but on the real, as far as showmanship is concerned, Kane won. I got to give it to him. KRS-One was out of shape. He couldn't even do half his songs, man. He was like letting the crowd do it for him, and his love and all that. It's not because the purpose of it isn't a battle like, back in the days when, Nas and Jay-Z was battling, and it's like, is this beef or is this just a rap thing? You know what I'm saying? And for them, it was both. So it's good that now they're showing that at the end of the day, if we battle, we not battling based on gangs or personality, or you diss me in this song and now I'm gonna come kill you when I see you. And then 2 weeks later, there's a shootout. And even if y'all weren't involved, it was your people, the dumbness, what we've been seeing for the last 25 years. And all I'm saying is that as far as that was concerned, when you break it down to the brass tacks, Kane won it. So I got to agree with Sister Keisha on that. No beef, no drama.
For me, I just watched it last night. With it. But for me, I'm going to say, in all honesty, I mean, it's two different questions. Who's better and who won? To me, for me, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Who's better? Kane. Of course, Kane is better. Lyrically, the cadence, the bars that he actually says, what he says, like the metaphors, the delivery, Kane got it. But to keep it a stack, when Kane at the end, when KRS brought out Buckshot, right? Well, we got to talk about that because
that was kind of bugged out to me.
Yeah, that was wild. Bucks, first of all, shout out to BDP and all that. That's Brooklyn, and we had General Steele on the show a few months back, so shout out to him. But that was wild. First of all, it wasn't even hot. It wasn't even dope. What Buckshot was spitting, that little freestyle where he tried to diss.
Yeah, I know.
It wasn't even dope. It was just unnecessary for one. And Kane, if Kane would have responded, he would have just put Son in his little man place. Like, you wildin', you trying to battle me.
Yeah. This is not that type of battle. Yeah.
Little man, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But overall, it was corny. What he was saying was straight up whack.
I agree.
And he playing on the wrong goddamn team. How you from Brooklyn and we in Brooklyn and you got Big Daddy Kane, the OG Brooklyn artist.
Hey, don't start that Bronx Brooklyn stuff now. I'm about to say another word. I ain't say it.
No, I got love for the BX. It ain't no Bronx versus Brooklyn thing, but I'm just saying he was set tripping.
He was. It wasn't even a Bronx Brooklyn thing. It was like because KRS even said it in the concert. He was born in Brooklyn, but he was raised in the Bronx. I know his story because Keisha know that my second book was an expose. I didn't know you at that point. My second book, which I have right here, called Boom Bye Bye, Hip Hop Will Never Die. And we're gonna get it. We're gonna leave the information for those out there who want to get it, after the show. But when I did some research on KRS-One back in the day, I bugged out when I found out he was basically raised in the Bronx, but that was when he was in he explained it in that song Out of Here. So if you don't know that history, then listen to that and you'll know a little bit more about his history because he was in the shelters and all that. So, he did that in the Bronx because he didn't want people in Brooklyn to see him being homeless.
Right.
Yeah. So, but it wasn't a Bronx Brooklyn thing. It was just like you and him had beef a long time ago and this is how you trying to squash it, or because, they from basically the same hood, Bed-Stuy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, they from the Ocean Hill, Brownsville, whatever, but that's Bed-Stuy when you break it down because in between the Ville and Bed-Stuy. So I don't know. I mean, maybe there was something more to it than what we just saw because even Kane was kind of like, what's this? What's this?
But I'm going to say, though, that KRS won, though, overall, even though I don't like to say it, but I think in a way he kind of did win the battle. You know what I'm saying?
Why you say that?
The reason I say this, right? Because I'm team Kane, right? And if I was there with Kane with a Kane t-shirt on, standing in the crowd, right? Remember at the end, KRS-One did he shelled out 8 more songs back to back to back. It turned into the KRS-One show. Kane wasn't even performing no more, especially in the whole temperature change after Buckshot came out. And
it did.
Kane was supposed to come right back and come hard and be like, you a son, put him in his place. He never did that. So even though Kane is the dope ass artist in the eyes of the audience, as far as the stage performance, KRS-One got it. Unfortunately,
I would say it to me. I'm gonna piggyback on what I said before. Before you spoke. In my opinion, you kind of right because I was going to add this part, but then you kind of came in and I didn't want to cut your wisdom. Because even though, in my opinion, Kane won the Verzuz, if we don't want to make it into a battle thing, if you say Kane won the Verzuz, KRS-One's catalog totally, Kane, when you break it down to the brass tacks, Kane really only had 2 albums that could be considered classic. And KRS probably had 10 in it before the year 2000.
Exactly.
So, it's like Jay-Z and Nas, you know what I'm saying? You could say Jay-Z won the battle because at the end of the day, he was the president of Def Jam and signed Nas.
Yeah.
So you harnessing his energy any way you look at it, regardless of whether you won or lost, because you sunning him now because you the boss and he's the employee.
That's what I'm saying about KRS-One, because his stage show pretty much sunned Big Daddy Kane. The way, like, he just went off with 8 tracks back to back. He had Buckshot come out and diss him. Kane didn't even want to perform no more. He was talking. He was holding the shoulder talking. I'm like, come on. So for me being on Kane's side, I'm like, son, what is you doing? Like, tag me in. You know what I'm saying? Let me come through the ropes and I'll take over for Team. Now, you wildin', bro, for real.
Okay. Sister Keisha, what you think? Come on, say something. What you thinking?
Again, when it comes to lyricism, Kane killed it, period. And now anybody who knows me knows that I love KRS-One. I stopped eating pork at 15 because of KRS-One. You understand what I'm saying? But when you're performing, stage presence is everything.
Yes, ma'am.
And Kane had the greatest stage presence.
Yes, for sure. I agree on that.
KRS-One. Right? So me being a fan, I'm in the audience, I'm looking for a performance, right? Kane killed it. No question, hands down.
I got
From his style and everything. He just killed it. KRS, like you said, breath control was a little off. You're all over the place. You saying 3 words and you want the audience to say the rest of your song.
Yeah.
No, I paid you to sing. I'm not doing that.
Right.
So the smooth operator came on and did what he had to do. And the ladies love Kane. Period. Hands down.
Oh, for sure. That's why, and that's another reason they're not really matched, if you ask me. And I'm not taking nothing from either one, and they're both great. We all know that they could be, both of them could be in anybody top 5, and nobody would look at them sideways. What I'm saying is I think KRS should battle Busta because they're more the same, and Busta got a catalog that can't be denied either. You know what I'm saying?
If he did battle Busta, he still would lose.
I don't know. I hear that.
Because, like I said,
I seen Busta out of shape too. He was his show. I seen Busta do a show in Florida one time. Oh man, it was just him and Spliff Star. They blew the spot up. And then I saw him again, and he was out of shape, and it was like I was expecting the same show the first time I saw him. I was totally like, damn.
In all honesty, man, if Kane, I don't think that's a good matchup because just because of what you said, they not on the same level at all. Like, if KRS-One and Busta battled each other, Busta would wash them easily.
I don't know about that.
Yes, he would, because just like you said, Busta got way more hits than KRS-One.
You younger, so you don't remember when you don't remember. You probably don't remember before the digital age when it was cassettes and records, bro. Yo, you heard their music everywhere back in. That was when it was really on the street when New York.
That's exactly my point. That's my point. It's a totally different time. So Busta level of hits, like the level, like these KRS-One had hits. Don't get it twisted. But the level of hits, I'm talking about like big records, huge records that went everywhere. Like,
let me just say this to you, Ashe. I was in the military in the middle 80s when those guys came out, when that golden era first started, Rakim, Heavy D, all them people like that era. And you was hearing that stuff everywhere. Now, don't forget, people were still traveling, so they was bringing them tapes and cassettes. It wasn't like today where you could just email somebody a song on YouTube. 2 minutes later, they jamming it. You know what I'm saying? But it still was getting out there, and you heard that stuff all around. That Run DMC brought hip hop into the international arena. After that, it was over for rock and roll and all the other music that was still popular back then. It was over for them after that.
Music transitioned so many different generations.
It has.
So that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be a wash. Like, no, none of these kids, these young kids, or even people my age, might not even know all the KRS-One songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but everybody gonna know all the Busta songs.
Did you hear when Roxanne Sante said that everybody in here is over 50? So then
but that's not what happened. That's not happening at a Busta Rhymes.
Yes, it will, because he's popular amongst those people too. Nah, it will be. It will be because of KRS-One. I'm just putting it out there as a theoretical thing. I'm not saying he wouldn't or would win. I'm just saying theoretically. See, because you biased because you grew up in the age of Busta. You probably closer to his age. You see what I'm saying? I went to Union Square. You know, a lot of the places they was talking about, the Roxy and, you know,
Union Square, Latin Quarters, the garage, all that.
I was a young dude. I wasn't in the street hustling. I was working and making money, and chicks used to think I was Kane.
Oh, shit.
I'm telling you. You know, I was a lot younger then. You know what I'm saying? We same age group, same basic body and figure, you know, dark skin. You know what I'm saying? And so
that in the subject, man, we got Kane on Thorough Black Talk right now. We supposed to be getting 1 million views right now.
Thank you, brother.
And shout out to Roxanne Shante too. That was supreme. That moment when Kane, you know, recognized her as being a mother.
Yeah. I didn't even know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did. She was out there before Juice Crew. Juice Crew came up under her. When he brought her out and said that she was the mother of it all, the queen. You know, I want those in the business now to understand what Roxanne Shante did for all of them. She didn't come out there naked. She didn't come out there bussy popping and all kind of. She didn't do none of that. None of that. She wasn't doing none of that. You know, none of that. You know, I didn't want to say the real word, but you know, y'all get what I'm saying. We got you. She didn't have to do any of that, and her lyricism was off the chain. Like when we used to go to the battles, it used to be this side of the project battle, that side of the project, or that project battle. That I'm going back then. She did it all. And for her to be brought out like that in that light, you know, as you said in the beginning, Brother BlakSmith, hip hop won on Sunday because.
No, don't say that again. Ashay might get mad at me.
Hip hop won on Sunday because right now,
did you say
right now, like you said, when you and I were going back and forth,
right?
You know, hip hop has to evolve, but it has to evolve with its fundamentals. That's Black culture. Black culture is stuck in the place that it is now because it did not evolve with its fundamentals. That's why you got people out here crazy. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why you can have a whole award show where everybody naked and everybody mumbling. Now you got Bobby Shmurda twerking.
Yeah, oh man.
Flying on stage, and you got this Nas dude with a belly in a photo. Come on. The fundamentals has to always be there. But the grandmasters got to make sure that those fundamentals stay in place. Yeah, evolve. We have to evolve. But you got to keep those fundamentals. And right now, the fundamentals are not there. It's white supremacy at its finest.
Yes, ma'am. That I don't got nothing to say. That's what it is.
It is.
Who'd you say won? You said KRS 1-1?
Who, me or Keisha?
Oh, you said you sticking with hip hop. You.
Me? Oh no, I said it a few times. I said
Yeah,
as far as pound for pound, performance wise, just taking in them as artists, Kane won. I got to give it to him. He was more composed. He seemed like he practiced, like he was ready, like he wanted to give the people a show. KRS was like, I'm just getting money right now.
This is what I'm gonna say. For me, that Kane versus KRS one was like watching Deontay Wilder and
Tyson Fury.
That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. Kane came out hard. Then he got winded. When he lost his breath, the show
was a wrap. Yeah.
KRS came with 8 more hooks. And that was it. Kane ain't even perform no more.
Keisha, where you find this dude at?
Listen, don't mess with my little brother now. Yo, I'm glad you said Deontay Wilder, brother Magnetic Peace Tyson. Me and him was talking about Deontay Wilder last night.
Okay.
You know, and that's and you know, not to digress, but we must. Deontay Wilder could have been a great thing if he had only listened.
What you mean? He is a great thing. Don't say that.
No. He's a one hitter. Now, when it comes to the fundamentals of boxing, he should have stepped with his original trainer, Mark Breland, who's one of the best. I'm talking about boxing.
Yeah.
Who could get in the ring and go rounds, the Olympian.
Yeah.
Listen, humble yourself. You understand? Humble yourself. You got to be able to last 12 rounds.
Yeah,
if you win it after 3,
he ain't never been no boxer. That's my thing. Like
that's the problem. But that's the problem, and that's why he getting caught out there.
He ain't got caught out nowhere.
Listen,
he lost 2 fights in his whole career. 2 to the one person. To one person.
Yes.
Can I get in the middle of this?
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
This is what's happening because MMA and UFC is making so much money right now. The level of boxing skill is nothing, man. In the 80s, man, you have in every weight class there was boxers that was like could attract like 10 million on what you call when you simulcast it in your crib when you pay for it.
Pay-per-view.
Yeah, pay-per-view. Man, you get 10, 20 million, 30 million people, man. How many fights is getting that kind of money nowadays?
They not.
Maybe 1 or 2 a year.
You talking about the era of Pernell Whitaker.
Yeah, all of them. Sweet pea. They call them
Hearns.
Oh.
They were able to last that long. Sugar Ray, the masters. And some of them, great hitters. Tommy Hearns, great hitters. Hagler, great hitters. But they had that stability. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You wasn't coming in with Marvin Hagler and doing no foolishness.
Yeah, exactly.
You laid the hell out. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what I'm saying. If you don't progress with the fundamentals, you destroy everything. And that's why boxing is where it's at today. It's a wash. And they thought, the powers that be, you know, they thought that they would make it run with the Hispanic boxers. But they couldn't.
Yep.
You can't duplicate. I don't care. You can't duplicate. You may let it run for a while, but you can't duplicate the masters. And those fundamentals weren't carried over. So now they were able to say, let's come up with another gimmick. You got your MMA and everything else. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, fundamentals, even as you said, we have to be on code worldwide. The fundamentals of Black culture is that we are one for all and all for one.
Mm-hmm.
Period. If it's good, if you want some craziness, you out there with them. You ain't even a part of us. Stay over there on that line.
Agreed.
Understand? But we got to have some fundamentals. And if we don't, it's going to get worse. So that's just my opinion. That's my perspective, my point of view. Yeah. You know, you guys give your point and we'll move on to the next thing.
I respect Wilder though, man. I respect Wilder, man. A lot of people like turning their whole Black RBG flag. They just dropped it. They said Iron RBG. When Wilder was killing them and busting everybody, not losing, everybody's RBG for boxing. Now they done do they dashiki, they boxing dashiki glove. They put it away now. They said they Tyson Fury fans now. He's a real champ, the true champ. You know what I'm saying? But nah, everybody, a lot of people throw Wilder away, yo. Like, come on, fam. Yeah, you're right. He don't got.
No, I'm not throwing him away, but he got to get to those fundamentals.
Nah, I mean, that's not his thing. This is my thing. Wilder, his story. He came into boxing as a hustle. He came in because his daughter was sick, had an illness. He like, yo, I don't got no weight. Let me find a way to make some money. That's literally sacrifice right there.
Yeah, that's motivation.
How many people got the goddamn heart in themselves to say, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do, but I got to feed my family, make sure my daughter is straight. I'm going to go out there and fight, literally fight. And not only do that with no ass skills, with nothing but heart, nothing but spirit. Tell him he can't lose. So he went out there and beat 42 people straight.
Yeah.
They're knocking out all of these people too straight. You know, so I'll take my hat off to Wilder, man, and you know, he just a slugger. People can't look for him to be a boxer. Like, that's not gonna happen. They've been saying that fight after fight after fight. Everybody already know that he ain't gonna be no boxer. So with this little training that he did or whatever, like, people already knew it wasn't gonna change. They just wanted him to catch Tyson and knock him out. Like, he still has the ability to do. In fact, if Tyson didn't put on all of that weight and actually,
like the first fight,
legally cheat. That's what I call it. Mm-hmm. Tyson Fury legally cheated because it was fair for him to keep putting his body weight on him. But if you watch that fight again, rewatch that fight and count how many times he had Wilder in the headlock. How many times did he have Wilder in the headlock? That's all he would do. And it's Wilder fault because every time Wilder would swing and then come out, he would always put his head down. So he set himself up for that. But Tyson still will always keep him in the headlock because he know he's trying to take Deontay Wilder energy down. And Wilder wasn't ready for that, you know what I'm saying? But if it wasn't for Tyson doing all of that, first of all, Tyson got knocked down. What was it? He got knocked down twice in the fight, I think, right? At least once. So it was almost a wrap for him. He was seeing Tweety Bird stars laying on the floor. You know, so it was this close where Wilder could have really won that fight. Plus, when Fury got knocked down, they said that he was down for 13 seconds. And the goddamn referee called it the seconds when he was knocked down. He called it real slow and called it late. So technically, if you watch that again, Wilder probably did win that fight. But I ain't capping because I know Wilder, like I said, he a one-trick pony and you can't teach him nothing else. But I ain't gonna give up my RBG flag on boxing. And with that being said, we got Terence Crawford coming up, and we still got he's fighting Porter. Terence Crawford and Porter, that's going to be a big fight. But then they got Tank, Gervonta Davis. You know what I'm saying? He's still killing them out here. And then it's a lot of other boxers coming up too. We got Spence that's already killing it. And, you know, it's a lot of black boxing and sports is still there. Right now, a lot of things is going on with the NBA too.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about Kyrie. What do you think about that situation?
Yeah, so we talked about that a little bit previously. Right now, they actually prevented Kyrie from playing all games. He's banned.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Away games. You know what I'm saying? So it's very. What you think about it, brother? Because I've been talking for a while.
Yeah. As far as Kyrie is concerned, I love that brother, and I'm glad that he's sticking to his guns. I'm disappointed that the other players did it. But, you know, I'm hoping Kyrie is so woke, and I believe he is. You know, he's shown already that he's woke enough, at least. You know what I'm saying? And we know he can't go on no straight up, you know, woke rant and start talking about, you know, the real causes of what's going on. If he ain't taking a shot and he publicly saying that, then we know he know what time it is. He watching shows like this, if not this show. You know what I'm saying? He knows the real information. He probably knows who Dr. Phil Valentine is and people like that, Dr. Ben. I know he wears a full I know he represent the indigenous people. He doesn't claim Negro, black, whatever you want, African American, or none of that. He claim indigenous. So you know he know enough to know what not to do. So I all big ups for him, and anybody who knows him, and I'm sure gets tight with him, knows that. So, they ain't nobody on his team at least saying that. I hated seeing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who looks like a damn clone anyway. I don't even know if that's really him. Came out last week, saying that he should get the shot because it's for the team, it's about a champion, all that blah, blah, blah business. And everybody forgetting about the Nuremberg Code and the HIPAA laws. You don't got to disclose your information to nobody about your health status, about nothing. And in fact, it's illegal for somebody to ask you that.
Facts. And that's what I'm talking about. People ain't on code. But real quick, I don't know if Ashe remembers, or some of y'all in the chat, when we brought Deontay Wilder and Mark Breland to the United African Movement.
Wow.
They came there to see a particular person.
Wow.
And me and Mark go way back, partying days. But anyway, I digress. Now, this thing with Kyrie, first of all, that's what I mean, being on code. What if all the black players just decided to sit down? And say, we not playing then. No, none of us are playing now.
Yeah, right.
That's what I mean. And it's the same thing with the unions, brother. With the employees. Why is it that all the rest of the employees will say, you know what? None of us are showing up to work now. Now what? What you gonna do?
Because we ain't on code, Keisha. We going right back in the circle again. We not on code. Some people, F that. I'm gonna get me that Benz I've been trying to get for the last 2 years, and I'm 5,000 away from the down payment. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get me that apartment down on 125th Street. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that, and before you know it, it's all. I said it in the beginning of the show. We so fractured by white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? So if you got selfish motives, you know what I'm saying, and he got selfish motives, and it's 5 of them saying it, and there's only 2 of us saying we ain't, we outnumbered. So you're going to have to be on your own and not work, or give in and eventually, take a chance on dying or getting real sick.
True indeed. True indeed. And, we have to make that a mantra that we are on code no matter what. We cannot let the system beat us. And then, like you said, these things going to be obsolete in the future any goddamn way.
Exactly.
What you trying to attain. I meant that we'll get to that. Because I said before, I had some questions that I wanted to ask you the last time you was on here, and we ain't get to touch on that.
Okay. Let me comment on Kyrie real quick.
Go ahead.
Before we move on real quick, I just want to say to people out here also that be learning information from social media, and that's all they do. They don't do a lot of other research. Be very careful about who you co-sign too. You know what I'm saying? Like me, a lot of people that's really in the movement, Keisha could definitely tell, like, co-signing for people that you don't know, you putting your foot in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real hard for me to really co-sign somebody. I got to know where you live. I got to know your background. I got to know people that know you. I got to do all that. And I'm going to just say that to say, like, with these fake overnight revolutionaries that are celebrities and all of a sudden they become revolutionaries, Kyrie, so on and so forth, so many people, like, be careful, family, because I don't know if everybody got amnesia, but right now people talking about how Kyrie is so woke this and so woke that. But y'all remember when Cleveland won the championship? Kyrie Irving had an all-white girl party to celebrate the championship. It was no black girls allowed. Y'all don't remember that? So everybody's talking about Kyrie is woke this and all. First of all, you tell me you indigenous, I'm getting the hell away from your ass anyway. I'm speaking for Ashe now. I don't play that. You know what I'm saying? All that crystal sage and all that, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Let's get down to the core element, the fundamentals. We know we different from these people. Because half of these goddamn people out here that say, oh, well, I'm indigenous. They don't even say, like, it's only one indigenous person, and that's black people, African descendants, whatever the hell you want to call it. Pangea, the original man and woman. That's the only goddamn indigenous person. You got people out here that talk about, oh, well, the Native Americans are indigenous, and the Taino and all of these other places are indigenous. God damn it, the only indigenous person on this planet is the black woman and the black man. Everybody else come after that. So when you start using these terms, you start throwing those terms out. Oh, I'm indigenous. Oh, I'm what's these terms these rainbow people be using? I don't even know them. They make a new one up every hour. These new age terms, like, come on, family. If you're not African or black or something like that, family, keep it simple for Ashe. Because I don't got time to be like Ali said with the snakes. You know, he said, I ain't gonna sort through which one gonna bite me. Well, goddamn it, it's black snakes out there too. And I ain't trying to cipher and sift through them and all that. We gotta come together with like-minded people that are like, look, I'm black, I'm a descendant of Africans. This is what we rolling with, goddamn it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about the Negro or color, whatever y'all want to call it. As long as we know we descendants of Africans, or if you don't believe you indigenous and this or whatever the case is, you know what I'm saying? You know that all life, they say that all life came from Africa anyway. The oldest human remains came from Africa. If you know that the oldest human remains came from Africa, why the hell would you claim indigenous to America? It don't make no sense to me. This is why the whole argument with a lot of these Moors.
Let me say this real quick. Let me cut you real quick. It is important because if you remove all people who claim indigenous from being indigenous and from Africa, then they can't claim the land that we're about to get back. So check that as a dynamic of knowing. Huh? Go ahead.
I ain't getting no notice. Where my land at? I ain't getting no notice in the mail.
Well, I know people who are doing those things, and it's happening. There was a family, if I'm not mistaken, called the Bruces in LA about a month ago. They just got all their land back in Malibu Beach, bro. It's real. I'm not talking fake stuff or possibility land claims and all that. There are millions of claims in courts all over this country for people who great grandfathers and great grandmothers told them that's your land over there. Them white folk took it in 1920 during the Tulsa Black Wall Street massacre. During that, a lot of those claims are in court, bro. You're not going to hear about it. You're not going to hear about it because the media ain't going to focus on that, because there's Oklahoma, just half of Oklahoma belongs now to the indigenous people. This came down last year.
Let me ask you this then, brother, because I'm not coming from a legal perspective, and I'm not coming from a white devil court perspective. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about spiritually, physically, morally. That's what
I can dig it, but that was my narrow piece in everything you said. I don't disagree with most of what you said. I went to exactly what I told you because that was where it was kind of going, and before we get 2 minutes down the road and then forget. I wanted to throw that in because it does have a certain validity to it. So, I'm not trying to change your mind or anything like that.
Oh, no, of course. Yeah. But of course, in the paradigm of these devils,
okay,
when you want to win something, play in their game, you got to play their rules.
Of course.
So if the goddamn devil say you got to be a rainbow to get your land back, it's up to you to decide whether you subscribe to being a rainbow.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's still your choice of what you want to do. So we all have decisions. So what I'm talking about is when we with each other, right? And we together and we trying to sort through who's who and what's what. Are we the same people? You got people out here saying that I'm not black, I'm indigenous to their goddamn family members.
Right.
That don't make no sense, family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. So if we talking about in court or playing somebody else's rules, that's another conversation. But we got people out here that's sick, that come with this indigenous stuff that disown their goddamn family members.
Oh yeah, nah, that's not cool.
So this is what I'm talking. So I'm talking about reality. So I'm not talking about just like, what you said is valid in the court system, But what we're talking about, because at the end of the day, this devil can decide whether or not he's gonna approve giving your land back. He's gonna say, am I gonna give you your land back, or am I not gonna give you your land back? And at the end of the day, when he say, I'm not gonna give you your land back because I just don't feel like it, we still have to come together and say, who are we as one person and take our land back. That's the only way we really gonna get our land back is if we take that shit. So, and a lot of people use these excuses to subscribe to certain things and say, oh, well, I just got my status corrected.
Right.
What happened when the devil say, God damn your status? We don't care what your status is. We bodying you. We don't care if you got a passport, Moorish passport. No, not knocking the Moors. I'm not a Moor hater. But I'm just saying logically.
Right. I got you.
We don't care about none of that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So let's put the mental illness to the side. We understand about strategizing and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, we got a lot of people out here that's playing games. They're not really in the courts. They're not really doing that. A lot of people just claim indigenous and all of that because they want to gentrify and they really want to unite with other indigenous people from different places. Instead of come together on one accord, one African accord, and say, look, this is what we're moving with and this is how we're going to get our freedom. So stop playing with it.
Gotcha.
I think Brother Rollo said it best. He said it don't make sense. Black is indigenous to every land.
Yeah.
Point blank in the period. So we're gonna move on because, like I said, when you was here the last time, we got into some things, and now, you know, people are starting to see, you know, things like time travel and all this old kind of stuff.
Right.
Now you have all over, well, not all over, but in some places, you have these people who claim to be of different times.
Right.
You had this one dude who said he came from 2027 or something like that, and in Spain, and everything is gone. You know, he took the phone and went through the city, and everything is gone. Hospitals, everything is shut. Nobody's there.
Right.
And then you had another cat who said he was from 3019, and he was talking about, you know, how things are gonna move, you know. It's funny to me that all of these people who claim to be time travelers are Caucasian. This is bugged out to me. It's bugged out to me. What are your thoughts on time travel, and do you subscribe or believe to any of this?
I would say yeah. Now in a sense of like entering into a machine and like, you know, time transporting or whatever they call that, you know, moving through time. I'm not so sure about that, but I would say if you know how to go astral inside of yourself, I look at it like this. Maybe I've heard it before. Maybe I've just conceptualized it for myself. Look at your body as a universe, and every cell in you is a planet. I'm talking every single cell. And I'm not talking, you know, bunches of cells grouped as one. I'm talking about every individual trillions and trillions and trillions of cells you got. You could never count them because they're always replicating and dying. So, you heard of a thing called remote viewing, right? Okay. Keisha, you heard of it before? Remote viewing? Right. So if you consider yourself a remote viewer, and like you, everybody that I've ever seen emote on now, talk about it, or have always been Caucasians. If you taught yourself how to remote view, and we do that when we dream, or when we have a premonition, and especially when it wind up coming true, and that happens, then that's a form of time traveling too, because especially if it's in the future, it ain't happened yet, and you've seen it, then it's like, what told you that was going to happen? Let me give you an example. In the year 1990, maybe 97 or 8, I read the book called Behold the Pale Horse. Now, you know, almost all of anybody who consider them, if you consider yourself woke, or you used to say 15, 20 years ago, conscious, and you ain't read that book, you playing. And William Cooper proved himself because he died right after 9/11. He the one that said, when I read that book, and that book I believe was published in 1991, he said get out of New York, Chicago, or LA because something big is going to happen in that city. In those one of those three cities, he didn't know the details, but he said he's seen enough information to know something big was going to happen, and more than likely it was going to be in New York because it's the media capital of the world. I left New York in '99, right before New Year's. I was living in Harlem at the time, and everybody was making fun of me because I thought it would be Y2K. And when that didn't happen, I said it ain't going to be Y2K like toward the end of the year. It's going to be something else. So when it happened, I was in Florida. And I was like, I told her, after that, nobody tried to clown me no more as far as that was concerned. Because I kept telling people something else is going to happen. You just a conspiracy theory. You always worried about that kind of stuff and all this and that. And it happened. So that vindicated me or whatever the case may be. So without saying that I predicted that or whatever the case may be, I didn't. I based on information is where I got that from. I got the hell out of New York. And a lot of people, enough people I know suffered in that because I used to work downtown in that area for New York Plaza, for Manny Hanny. That's how far back I go. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. And I knew people that would got caught up in it. Thank God most of them didn't die, but a lot of people I knew got caught up in it because I had stopped working down in that area about 90, maybe 92 or something like that. So it wasn't, and a lot of them people were still on the same jobs that I was working at. In fact, some of them in the World Trade Center itself. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Me as well.
I would say, now y'all gonna be surprised when Ashe say this. But I time traveled before. I time traveled. Let me get on my young Pharaoh. Let me get on my young Pharaoh vibe right now.
Don't start licking your tongue out and taking your shirt off and twerking.
I don't know about none of that. I didn't watch them videos.
Hey, don't be beating your baby mama up either.
Oh man. Nah, I time traveled before.
I'm listening.
When I went to California, I went 4 hours back. Didn't I?
Keisha, he a fool. Get him off the line.
That's why he stay on punishment. You see what I'm saying? Just why we keep him on punishment.
Nah, but it's real too. I really went back to the future, family. I got in a DeLorean. Blue Airlines.
Hey, Keisha, he paid me back for Colin Ferguson.
Nah, but no, didn't they? I think scientists already said something with particles. They already proved that you can travel or manipulate time. But I think they said it's like a one-way ticket or something. It was something to do with the particles and all of that on the scientific level. They did it. And then if you believe in what they say about their research when it comes to wormholes in space, they say you can travel, light speed, different time. But time is relevant. It's relative. You know what I'm saying? Time is also an illusion. So when you talk about time travel, I think it's just like my brother said, it's not what people think. You're going to hop in a machine or, something like that and go somewhere and be just the way you are and the same. It's not like that, but honestly, I will say this though. I went to what was it, this last weekend? I went to this exhibit in Manhattan, and it was basically like an installation exhibit with a lot of technology in the form of digital art. And they had this one installation where you literally stand in front of this screen and the screen reads your body and you just put your hands out like this. And then next thing you know, you controlling the screen. You don't have to press nothing or nothing like that. You just put your hands out and then you see your hands on the screen moving and touching things digitally and controlling stuff. And the government definitely has a lot of technology that we don't know about that they haven't released yet. Why you think these iPhones are able to come out every goddamn year with some kind of upgrade in it? They got facial technology. Before it was your thumbprint, you could do certain things. Now you blink, they show your face. It's a lot of different technology that we don't even know about yet. We getting it decades. They slowly feeding into us decades after they did it. And now they're saying, oh, okay, this is good to put in your iPhone, or this is good for your drone here and things of that nature. So think about all the other technology that they've been working on, that we just don't know about right now. So Like I said, time travel is not far fetched, but it's just not what people think. But I would say, like in the era of technology and things of that nature, it's a lot of. I mean, don't be surprised. They already talked about the hoverboard. I saw a video online. I remember back in the day, even in the days of the Back to the Future movie, people was like hoverboard. Like it seems so far fetched, and now you got a hoverboard. Now you can go and buy a freaking hoverboard. You know what I'm saying? So if you could do that, then I'm sure it's a whole bunch of other technology out there. So, like I said, I think it's not too far fetched, but it's just not what people
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Let me say this real quick, Keisha, before you switch to the next question or next topic. I've seen reports stated. Now it's going to be a little convoluted. So if I go off a little bit and you know the story, or you can follow me and then probably correct me. I might not have it correct 100%, but I'm going to tell you what I know or what has been reported. It was said that when do y'all know the history of George Bush and Tesla?
Nah, break it down, bro.
Okay. You know the book Curious George, the little monkey and the man with the yellow hat?
Mm-hmm.
Curious George was Tesla calling George Bush the president, Daddy Bush, not this jerk off that was president 20 years ago. Supposedly he was the monkey in those books, because when he was a little boy, he used to go to Tesla's lab and turn up in there and be messing stuff up or whatever. So Tesla named him Curious George. Now supposedly when Tesla was killed, not died, Donald Trump's uncle went and got all his papers and took all that information, and that's how we got all these electricity wires in a house and towers and all these power lines and stuff like that. And supposedly back then, he had invented also a time machine, and his uncle used the time machine, came into the future, and came back and told Donald Trump he was going to be the president in the year 2016. Now, I ain't trying to prove that or to quantify it in any way. I'm just telling you there's stories out there. If you look for it, you'll find it real easy.
Yeah.
So, if that's true, and Tesla died, as an old man, but there was a lot of stuff he would not give to the people that was financing him, because he was for the people who was reputed that he was a black man. If you ever notice, cameras was invented by the time Tesla was an old man. And if you ever notice, all his pictures are always like holographic. So you can't tell if he's black or white or whatever the case may be. They say he was from Venus and that he was a black man.
Wow.
This is what I heard. I'm just telling y'all things that I ran across in all my years of research.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, Keisha, that's how I'm gonna end that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear that. But we're gonna move right along. Time is running down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you all heard this story, but this and we always tell y'all, be alert. This woman, I didn't know it was a woman at first, but that's a female.
Uh-huh.
Says illegal alien from China hit with federal charges for allegedly setting fire to historic Alabama church. An illegal alien from China is facing federal charges after allegedly setting multiple fires at a historic Montgomery, Alabama church that she is accused of scoping out and surveilling. As Breitbart News reported, 27-year-old Joaquin Yen of China was charged last week with second-degree arson after she allegedly set 4 fires in the sanctuary of the First Black Church in Montgomery.
Wow.
Yan first arrived in the United States on an F1 student visa, but overstayed her visa and has been living as an illegal alien. According to the church, where Governor Kay Ivey attends services, Yan caused at least $25,000 worth of damage. The church was first founded in 1829, and its existing sanctuary has been around since 1916. Now Yan is facing federal charges for seeking to destroy property with fire or explosives. Federal court filings detailed WSFA 12 News revealed that Yan supposedly scoped out the church multiple times and made remarks about the pastors, referring to them as rich white men. The pastor of the church told federal agents that he had previously interacted with Yan, finding her suspicious and thus taking down her license plate number. Security guards at the church noted that Yan had 2 blue duffel bags with white wiring inside of her 2001 Buick LeSabre. The vehicle is registered to Yan's name. Also, a security guard and a custodian said that Yan had previously showed up to the church once with long hair and then later with short hair and asked about the building's security cameras. On the night the fires were set, federal agents identified a small Asian woman wearing a hat, gloves, and mask while carrying the same type of duffel bags that were previously seen in Yan's vehicle. The woman had arrived at the church as the service was taking place. Later that evening, the same woman was caught on surveillance cameras setting fires all around the church. The woman then left the church with the same duffel bags seen in Yan's vehicle. Church staff identified the woman in the footage as Yan. When Yan residence and vehicles were searched, federal agents found lighters, gas cans, multiple cell phones, her passport, along with other documents, a pistol, bullets for that pistol, a magazine loaded with bullets, and receipts showing purchases for lighters, duffel bags, and gas cans. In addition to local charges, Yan is facing 5 to 20 years in federal prison. Now, let's go back to Dylan Roof in South Carolina when he murdered those people in that church in Charleston. Again, we are very comfortable with people coming among us, around us, involved with us, and we ask no questions. This woman was doing some stakeout stuff for something or somebody. She scoped out the church. You see the arsenal that she had with her. And they said in the article that the people seen her multiple times in and around the church and the sanctuary. So my thing is this. Why is it that Black people are so comfortable with other ethnic groups coming in, among, and moving around them?
You want me to answer that?
Yeah.
You asked the question in contrast to Dylan Roof in South Carolina, correct?
Yes.
You know what I believe, Keisha, as far as that whole dynamic is concerned, what I would say to that is this. We've been so marginalized and so beaten down, most of us, because we can all go through it, and some of us give up and some of us don't know what to do, and some of us determine that we're gonna make it anyway. And so when you see somebody who looks, Brother Ashe touched on this earlier, we tend to sympathize with who we feel are underdogs. Now, but was this church a black church or a white church? Because I heard you say she said something about this is a all white church or rich people church or something.
It's a historic black church.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
that doesn't mean white folks don't attend.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Go ahead.
So I don't know. I mean, the way I read the whole situation as a whole, it was a false flag because if she's a spy and working for people, she wouldn't have been that sloppy. If she was put there to distract people away from something else that they're doing, then I could see that because or she's crazy and she was just a lonesome dove and so on and so forth. But you know, in this day and age, you don't see too much of that anymore. You know what I'm saying? That lone gunman narrative is kind of played out now. So maybe because of that, they muddy in the water some other kind of way. I don't know.
Here's my thing. First of all, when you try to look for this story on Google, her image is pretty much almost scrubbed. That's why I use private browsers.
Right.
Because Google pisses me off.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's almost scrubbed. Now, I go back, I say that to say the power of a people who are on code. Somebody got in Google's ear, we got to get this image off. Know why? Because right now, heat is coming in California. Well, it's already there about these illegal birthing centers where you have Asian, in particular Chinese women who will come into the United States as tourists, pregnant, and give birth here.
And then leave without the baby.
And not just that, now they have an anchor here.
Yeah, yeah.
When you see the image of illegal immigrants, it's always Hispanic that they put before you. Never to deal with these Asians when they are smuggled in by the hundreds of thousands. You know, I don't know if you remember, brother, back in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, when that woman in Chinatown smuggled in over 100,000 people.
Hey, you remember the movie Crash?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
okay. Well, you look at it that way. That was just one truck.
Facts. And no one ever talks about this. This illegal smuggling of Asians into the United States who are used as buffers, if you will, and hate black folks, condemn black folks, but none of these black politicians will say a goddamn thing. They can go to the Red Apple Nail Salon, work, set up shop, and beat the hell out of a black woman, and no black politician will say a damn thing. No white politician will say a damn thing. You know why? Because the Asians are on code. Philosophically, that blueprint, believe me, they hate each other. Go to Queens and see the Filipinos, the Koreans and the Chinese go at it. Yeah. They hate each other. I think I showed a video on here last year where they was in the middle of the street in Flushing, Queens, throwing down. So my thing is, though, when it comes to gaining power, they are on code.
Right.
And they will check anything and anybody, anytime, anywhere. That's why you don't hear the narrative of these illegal Asians who are in this country right now, prosperous in business. And if you or Ashe got a blueprint and a game plan to get things done, ain't no banker trying to see you with that level of respect.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Can I ask you a question, Keisha, real quick? Let me ask you this real quick. Do you think that has anything to do with that? Do you think that was like an indirect way to revive that narrative of Joe Biden giving them billions of dollars a few months back? Because it kind of, it was a flash in the pan for like a month, and then you stop hearing about it. But this would be something that would probably get black people to do what you just said and to turn up on that and talk about it and then make it an issue. So if it's being scrubbed from the internet where you can't even see a face, why? Maybe we can trace her to some organization or some outfit that, you know, is trying to get that. Basically, you know, without going into the political part of everything that I talk about, the deep state needs some type of conflagration to happen to distract everybody away from the voting in Arizona, and now almost in all the states that is about to happen, if it ain't happened in those states yet, and the fact that people are dying from the jab. So maybe she got caught and she didn't do it right, because only when the way you told the story, I thought the whole church burned down. It was only $25,000 in a church that's that old. That's not a lot of money considering, you know, the circumstances. So I think it was a false flag went wrong in order to break it down.
My point exactly. My point exactly, brother. And to keep black people, if you will, from seeking real justice and real damage claims from her through that Asian hate crime bill.
Right.
Now, for those of you who want to know, all the executive orders that Mr. Biden is involved in, has laid down, some he signed, some he haven't as yet. Just go to the Federal Registrar, and I'm gonna put the link in the chat so you all could go through it at your own convenience, because here we give you the real. You can see Trump's executive orders, Obama's, Bush, Clinton, and whoever. None of them favorable for us, except for Juneteenth, goddamn holiday, which is crap to me. But I want our people to pay attention, because there are a lot of local elections that are happening around the country. And you're going to have these Democrats who are going to try to persuade you for your vote. I want you to ask them. You can go on their Instagrams, their Facebook pages, their Twitter pages. I like Twitter better because I don't get put in jail as much. But ask them, what are you going to do about these Karens out here that are running amok? See, when Eric Adams talks about his stance on crime, he wants to hone in on the gangs and all of that, all fine and good. What the hell are you going to do about these Karens that are running amok? What are you going to do about these illegal Asians that are taking over the city of New York, who could set up shop and beat the hell out of a Miss Thelma in a Red Apple nail salon, and ain't nobody going to jail?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Did you hear the latest one? I know you focusing on Asians right now, but supposedly Joe Biden has been transporting kids from the Mexican border, from the Texas-Mexican border to New York, and putting them in the suburbs, not in the city necessarily. Because I think if you put too many in there at one point, at one time, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be too much. But if you send them to the suburbs and they there to be either adrenochrome drippers or to work, enslaved in somebody. Oh, this is, some rich white folks in Westchester or Rockland County or somewhere out on the island. You know what I'm saying? Then you can say you adopted them, and when you're out with they dress nice and look clean and all that, but at home, they just slaves basically, even sex slaves. Because when Trump closed the border, he shut a lot of that down. And then as well with the going back to Asia in specific, that Three Gorges Dam got ran over, and supposedly the mainframes for Bitcoin and all that other stuff was under the Three Gorges Dam. So that all got flooded out. So their adrenochrome supply is running out. So they got to basically they out in the open pretty much right now. Because without that, they ain't got nothing. I'm talking wholesale. I'm not talking one or two kids here and there. And it is a known fact that the best adrenochrome comes from Black and Asian children. That has been established years ago. Right.
Got you. Got you. So again, family, I want you all, as we said, pay attention more, because a lot of you living in gentrified areas, you don't know who's moving among you and why. You don't know what their intentions are and why. We cannot be lax in that. You know, this is just an incident with a church. But when you go to the nail salon, sisters, to get your nails done or your eyebrows done or whatever, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Even if you go to these places, take your own equipment with you. Take your own equipment with you, your polish and everything else, because you don't know what's in it. You don't know what's in it. You don't know this Karen who lives down the block, and we showed that, I think, last week or the week before, in Bed-Stuy, a brother walking his dog, and this Karen going to tell him to go back to his neighborhood, go back to where he came from. That can't fly. So whoever's running for office, where you at, if they don't have a bill to deal with these goddamn Karens, and stop pushing the narrative about we got to get rid of these Haitians who are coming into the country. Deal with these Asians first. Let's start there, because they're the majority according to their data. In fact, what's her name? Lisa Ling, noted investigative reporter, just did a expose on CNN, I think last week or the week before, where she talked about this very same thing. How elite Chinese are sending their children to the United States to be educated. Again, this girl was here on a student visa. Where she get all this stuff from and how she get it, I don't know. She's here on a student visa. They're here to buy up everything that ain't nailed down. Why? And what are they going to do with you who are renters? You who are just trying to get by. You with your independent businesses with no coalition. I'm sorry, but you are a recipe for disaster. And I'm not saying that. That's what history proves. Look at all of these individual Black Wall Streets that popped up all over the country during the 1920s. Operating independently. No coalition. Destroyed. So as you build businesses again, be careful. Be careful. Be on code. Get a coalition and operate as such so that they can't come in and take what's rightfully yours anymore.
Hey, Keisha, I just thought of, you just gave me a great idea, and let's see if we could agree on it. Why don't we write a code?
Because we could do that.
Yeah, because ain't
we
nobody
tried that before. Maybe we can try it again.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, and at least in the digital age, if we could get 500 people all over the country to at least in principle agree with it, and you know, we can do one thing that could further the cause of, you know, one person tells two people tell four, vice versa, on and on and on. And because, you know, the biggest enemy of us being on code is financial incentive. And this is why, let's go back to what we started with, which was hip hop. And this is why most of these young men, especially rappers and women in particular, wind up becoming part of the boule because it's financially rewarding to them. So when they come back to the hood and they got a Benz and they're about to move to a house in Westchester, blah, 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 so on and so on, show all the trappings of life, and you just talking about helping the hood, what does that mean to them when they know they're going to go back to the office tomorrow and get a $250,000 check? And you can't even give them enough to buy lunch with. So, I mean, you know, and then you're young, so you ain't never seen money like that before, and you ain't been through it to know you could lose all that, or that, you might say Kyrie Irving or anybody, Lauryn Hill, we can name on and on and on the people who didn't go for the, regardless of what you feel about them, that didn't go for it, and now they labeled as crazy, they targeted, they can't get shows no more, whatever, and then you just maligned by the media where you ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a targeted individual. So I without being mega rich, I haven't had money in my life, don't get it twisted, but I never been rich. You know what I'm saying? So what do you say to a person like that? You know what I'm saying? Do you go for the $250,000, or you go back to the hood and do right by the people?
Yeah.
See, that's, I don't know, because here's the thing. Like the Asian, like I said, they on code. You had, and we showed it here on this platform, Black lawyers, Asian lawyers, Asian business owners, come together and said, this is what we want. We took out an ad in the Wall Street Journal, and they said, this is what we want, or else. They put their money in both parties, more so the Republican Party, but they put their money in both parties.
Uh-huh.
They send their children back home until they reach a certain age to be educated, to be astute in their culture, and to understand the blueprint of their culture. So it don't matter if they working in a chicken shack, because you got a lot of poor Asians out here too.
Yeah, of course, we know that.
But they on code.
Yeah.
So that's what it goes back to what we were saying in the beginning. Those fundamentals and principles of what Black culture is must be maintained. Even as we evolve, we got to get that. So I agree. We could write a code. We tried to have a code of conduct before. Brother Ashe will tell you that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. But let me say this real quick.
Go ahead.
This is a very big factor in all of this. The Mossad is actually the ones who created the CCP, the Chinese CCP, or whatever the middle C stand for. And not only that, but you got to understand something. Even China is too big to invade. That's why they only could get control of Hong Kong before it went back to the Chinese 20 years ago. Another thing about that is not all Asians are Chinese. And
That's true.
We have to understand that, like you said earlier, they all hate each other too, but they weren't like enslaved like we were and then scattered everywhere. And then, it caused different, even if you got the same culture, it's like so thrown off, is different at the end of the day. And so what I'm saying is, in the near future, I don't think we're going to even need all that, because we need freedom in order to come together the way we're supposed to. That's the only thing missing from us as a people right now. So that code don't have to be written in and I believe, because we, in my last show, that's what that was mainly about. I believe soon, very soon, that's going to happen. And without having if you have enough money to pay rent and have all the basics, why would you be manipulative or sneaky or a hater or something like that? He got a Benz and I can't afford one. I just got a Chevy, so I'm gonna hate him. You know what I'm saying? If we all had $100,000 in our bank tomorrow in the morning when we woke up, bang, 100,000 K straight up yours. You ain't got to pay nothing on it. Just go spend it. You wouldn't have time to be hating on nobody else because you be doing what you do. Oh, you got a Benz? Good. I'm going to get me a Lexus. You know what I'm saying? You could get just as good or better or, just a step down because you don't need better. You need what you need. You know what I'm saying? So let's hope that's where we're going as a people. And I'm keeping aware of the time. So if you want to ask something different or go somewhere else, let's get into that before we got to go.
We getting ready to shut it down.
Okay.
So, and we definitely have you back. You always know this is your home too. So
thank you, love. I appreciate that.
Whenever you want to chop it up about some things, we got you. So
thank you.
That's never an issue. So your final thoughts and comments, and let people know where they can follow you and get your stuff.
Well, just this morning I found out I was in Facebook jail again. After just getting out last week, it's like I'm on parole and I doing a skip bid, right? Anyway, I'm on parole right now on Facebook. So, but if you want to friend me, the name on Facebook is Flavius Jones. That's FLAVEUS, and then Jones, just regular Jones, Flavius Jones. I'm an author. I go in at my blog, which I usually post on every other day, sometimes twice a day. Depends on how much news is in the cycle, so on and so forth. That's www.goodchiba.blogspot.com. And my sister Keisha, by the way, before I even go further, do you have my book? I think I gave you one at UAM one time, a long time ago. Okay, good. Did you read it? Just tell the people what it's about. Just give them a basic 2-second flavor.
It's what, you and Black Dot did pretty much the same thing about the history of a lot of things and going deep into it.
Right.
I'm gonna see if I can get the link. And matter of fact, I'll take a picture of it and put it on our Facebook page.
Okay.
I don't want to get into that right now.
Right. Okay.
Wind down. So I will definitely put that on our Facebook page and our Instagram for everybody who wants to get it. As a matter of fact, I got to go downstairs to the basement.
Okay. And so if y'all want the book, just friend me on Facebook, hit me up, and I'll give you my Cash App info, and we'll go from there. It usually takes a week or two to get the book, or just hit me up.
I'll do it. I'll definitely do it. If not tonight, then tomorrow. I got to go downstairs to get it.
Okay, no worries. Just asking because I remember giving you one, but I didn't know, we never spoke about it after. So
yes, I definitely have it.
Please make sure you get access to it, or if you want to buy one, we already friends, so he could hit me up, whatever the case.
I was just going to say I'm gonna be linking you up soon to cop one. I'm just about to say that, yeah. So
okay,
yeah, we're gonna share it. You said it's a link, we could share it on the page and everything, so everybody else following appreciates our brother's commentary and the work that he does. Check him out, and I'm definitely about to cop the book, man. So
thank you, brother. Yeah, I'm done. See, if y'all want to finish, y'all, Keisha, you get the last word. Come on now.
Well, bro, we gotta get you back up here too, because there's a lot of stuff we didn't talk about. We didn't even touch on Dave Chappelle with this whole rainbow stuff and all of that. And I read an article today. They were talking about. He said actually he's willing to sit down and have a meeting with the
transgender community.
Transvestite. I don't know what to call it.
Transgender.
He's willing to have a meeting with them to discuss what they walked out of Netflix for. I saw the images of their protests in front of Netflix, and of course you have Black Lives Matter flags and signs and things of that nature. So I don't want to hear no argument about how these two movements or whatever you want to call them aren't the same. It's evident now what Black Lives Matter is, So if you don't know what it is, then we just not even talking it. We talking different languages, So
85% of Black Lives Matter is white. So we that's non sequitur, bro.
And I saw people, Black people in Brooklyn, in New York, and period, wearing these T-shirts and all that. But it is what it is, man. But we got a lot of other stuff to talk about, bro. So I definitely appreciated you coming up here. You know what I'm saying? And
man, I love y'all too much. Y'all bring me back to New York. Y'all make me want to come back to Brooklyn just so I can argue with Keisha about what's better, the Bronx or Brooklyn. Let's end how we started. How's that?
I'm not saying nothing. I'm not saying nothing because I'm getting in trouble.
Yeah. But with that being said, family, it's your brother Ashe SJ signing out. Shout out to our brother Tad. The brother will be back soon. The brother is just MIA right now because he's building. He's working on a lot of other things so he could get himself right and level up, just like we all should be trying to do right now. You know, a lot of people can't go out. If you didn't get the snake bite, you can't go certain places. Let's hibernate. We about to be into winter.
Yeah.
I knew, or maybe you forgot, brother. But New York is like summer and spring in the morning, and then the afternoon is fall, and the nighttime is winter. You know what I'm saying? So the seasons change. So with that being said, we're about to get back on hibernating mode. Please, family, make sure y'all saving money. Keisha always says, please make sure y'all stocking food in case something happens. Let's get our mind right. Get our priorities together, family, and let's level up, family. You know,
yes, sir.
Spring come back hitting. We better than we was before, family. So this your brother Ashe SJ signing out. Always remember, true courage is knowing how to suffer, family. Always keep it thorough, right here on Thorough Black Talk. Do us a favor and share this link so some more people could get it. Please share this link. I know a lot of people, we get caught up in watching it and commentating and things of that nature, but one like button goes a long way. One share button goes a long way. And a lot of people are watching us right now that's not even subscribed to our YouTube channel, family. Please subscribe, share our videos. Let's make this conversation viral so we can get more people like-minded like us and breed more warriors, family. Your brother Ashe SJ signing out. Sister Keisha.
As my brothers said, we appreciate you all coming in each and every week to check us out, and let's continue to build. You know, that's where the code starts at. You know, we have to put that blueprint back out. And so we appreciate you guys coming in and joining us. We want you to follow our brother BlakSmith, Flavius Jones, on Facebook so you can get more information on what he's doing. Read his Good Chiba blog. I think you will find a lot of interesting information in that. We will definitely have him back again. And we didn't even get a chance to touch on the shortages and delays of essential products.
Yeah.
And something that we have been saying here on this platform for quite some time. Stock up on your essentials. These prices are about to shoot through the roof, and I'm talking in the next 30 days. These prices, if you pay $1 for a can of beans, today in 30 days is going to be $3.50. That's where they pushing it to. The dollar stores will not be dollar anymore.
Yeah.
I'm telling you this. So stock up on your supplies. Please be aware of your surroundings. Please continue to keep yourself healthy, mentally and physically. And again, keep it thorough. Keep it black. And always remember, it goes down here every week on the Brooklyn Bridge, baby. Tell somebody to tell somebody. We out, y'all. Have a good night.